when we empower that team, we will have tremendous success from that. So growth is not about the business we are getting, but the growth to me is about how many use cases are we solving for the customer. Customer centricity may be a buzzword outside, but in consulting business, I think the definition is the business.
It is the business,
Customer,
yes.
we have to be agile. Our model has to be agile.
We talked today a lot about AI. Back in the 90s, your educational background was in artificial intelligence, not something that everybody else had.
Goal for the lab is not to build products like Apple, and we are not inventing things. We are not finding that next disruptive technology. No, we do simple things.
The misconception that you are building something for growth and it's just going to happen.
It's
Nothing
not a
happens.
standalone thing. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, Ram. How are you?
Doing good, Rijita. Good morning.
It is so good to have you here today. I know we've been talking about having a conversation. We have many conversations, many discussions just over, I don't know, at a party, at a gathering, at somewhere. But it is really great to have you come speak to our audience on the community. Our community is all about customers, the customer thrive zone. And I know you are very passionate about your customers. So it is an honor and a pleasure to have you in our community today.
Thank you, Rijita. And same here. I'm excited to be here. I saw some of your other interviews on the platforms, and I'm honored to be part of this community and having this important discussion. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So welcome also to our audience. Thank you to the Tinkley team and welcome to our audience. Our audience joins us today from India, all the way in Asia, and then here on the East Coast where Ram and I are based, and then hopefully there are folks across other time zones as well. But as a reminder, the platform is always available for you to post your questions, comments. Let's make it an interactive session. It is an Ask Me Anything session, and Ram is available. So let's make it an interactive session. A quick introduction to our guest. So Ram Ravi, my guest today, is the Chief Growth Officer at FedTech. And you have over 25 years experience in delivering in various roles, spanning large programs, integrating consulting, the digital side of things, and then also managed services. And your focus has always been to maximize client outcomes and to drive growth. And then prior to FedTech, Ram, you've also served as the Vice President of the Civil Market at Booz Allen Hamilton, successfully delivering $100+ million programs in the federal government civil market. And you also held several technology roles at KPMG, which is now Bearing Point. But coming back to FedTech, your focus is driving the growth initiatives, solution offerings, and strategic investments to accelerate customer objectives in this rapidly growing and changing technology environment. So your experience spans both the public sector as well as commercial initiatives, and you have a long track record of delivering in transformation programs. So I could go on and on, Ram. I do, before I stop and give you the floor to fill in all the gaps, I do want to mention that very notably, you were named as one of the finalists last year in 2024 in Washington Exec's Chief Officer Awards as the Executive of the Year finalist for Chief Growth Officer. So very heartiest congratulations. So happy when I read that post. And tell us a little bit, about your journey to Chief Growth Officer, and what have been some salient things that you are involved in right now in your current role?
Sure. Thank you, Rijita. I started my career as a technologist in KPMG. I was a Java developer and focused heavily on reading the requirements and coding. So that's where I started. And gradually, I think I shifted to Booz Allen Hamilton, and I spent about 17 years in Booz Allen. That was my, I would say, a career defining roles that I had in Booz Allen. So it gave me a platform to be a business leader as opposed to just a technologist. And in there, I had multiple opportunities to build my skills around managing the business, leading impactful programs for the customer. One thing I really liked about my past programs is it's not just a project. It was all about the customer's mission. Like, for example, when I'm helping modernize some of the tax solutions
Yeah.
in at IRS, modernization at IRS, it is directly impacting our lives. It is making it easier for us to interact with the government, pay our tax or meet our tax obligations, and at the same time catching bad people, committing fraud. So this directly impacts our life. So that, to me, leading programs like that was a great opportunity for me throughout the career, and that stuck with me. And my role, or the way I work, the way I interact with my customers, everything is around that mission. Their mission is my mission.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I got to work with the best talent in the industry during my tenure there.
Yeah, you've touched upon so many key points, working from the bottom up, being involved in programs that directly impact our lives. And it is truly a rewarding experience. So it allows you to thrive, and it allows you, like you said, to work with the talent pool in the industry. So all of that, I'm sure you're bringing to your current role as well. So your topmost priority is developing the growth strategy. So how do you then prioritize the opportunities you see across the different markets, across even the different service offerings that you might have, the different product lines?
So let me uh, answer that question with explaining some of the key focus areas in a growth
Mhm.
strategy. In my role,
Okay.
Chief Growth Officer, to me, is a coined new term,
Yeah.
but it is a mix of Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Technology Officer, Chief Operating Officer. It's a mix of multiple different roles. So a growth strategy at FedTech, we laid out three key areas. We call them our focus areas, and they are our core capabilities. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, we sell our capabilities. We don't build products like iPhones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't sell any sell to our customers. We sell capabilities to the customer. We identify the business problems and sell capabilities. So that what capabilities I'm able to offer is one key focus area. The
Yeah.
second area is I can't do it alone. I need partners. So the relationships with the different vendor partners, that's second focus area. So if I
Yeah.
am just by myself, I can do so much. But when I combine the capabilities of my vendor partners, just the resulting solution set is exponential.
Yeah.
So the second focus area is my relationships with different vendor partners. And third, of course, is at the center of everything is our customer and the customer relationships, the engagement with the customer. That's our third focus area.
Yeah.
So every growth strategy, especially at FedTech, our growth strategy is driven by these three focus areas. So when you
Yeah.
say, how do you uh, prioritize your growth opportunities, which come back to these focus areas, and
Yeah.
we say, is it aligned to these focus areas? So we are not going to try a new capability area just because we know the customer or just because we feel we can do it, but we are realistic. We don't venture into new areas unless we talk about it as a strategic investment and we prepare ourselves for a particular capability area. We don't go after it. So just pulling everything back
Yeah.
together, there are three focus areas that we have, and all our prioritization of growth opportunities, we ensure that we are aligned to those focus areas.
And if I'm hearing you correctly, it's not about prioritizing because it is relationship based. You have to manage the relationship with your vendors. You are
Yeah,
managing relationship with the customer. So growth can only happen when you move these things in parallel. So it's not about prioritizing in one area versus the other. It's actually moving it forward as an initiative.
exactly. And also keep in mind, uh, we are a small business, uh, you know, on the cusp of being graduating to a large, and for that matter, any large business.
Yeah.
Um, Always the uh, business and development dollars or the investments you make into your BD organization are limited. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
you have to ask this question: should I go after, should I chase this work? So these three focus areas are your guiding principles, if you will. If you don't have your customer intimacy in a certain area, probably not a good match for you to chase something there. If you don't have a
Right.
capability, probably not worth chasing. So those are our we use those as a guide to go after work, if you will.
And being authentic then to what your capabilities are so that you can
Exactly.
deliver to those as well. That's amazing. I mean, these are some of the key things we talk about, the key principles of customer success. If you want your customer to end up with a successful outcome, then you've got to be true and authentic to your own capabilities as well. So
Yeah.
fantastic. What would be a high impact initiative then for you? You mentioned you are at the cusp of venturing into a large organization. What is a high impact growth initiative for you?
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. We just are coming out of assessing where we were with an investment. As you know, in the government and most organizations, we are using low code, no code platforms like ServiceNow, Pega,
Mhm.
Appian, Salesforce, and like platforms, which provides you a platform where you can easily build business applications where you're not doing heavy coding, but you're configuring different built components to build quick solutions, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
started an investment. This was a capability that we lacked, and we started an investment around it. We bought skilled folks into the organization. We sent our experienced staff to trainings. We built some vendor partnerships, and it was a over a period of, I would say, 1 year or so, we kept pulling different activities around this key strategy. And we identified an opportunity where we had the customer intimacy. We had a great opportunity to break into that space. We partnered with a large vendor for the ServiceNow capabilities, and we
yeah,
coupled with our domain knowledge and our existing investment on the ServiceNow capabilities, we went together. And net result, we won a BPA for ServiceNow to deliver ServiceNow for AmeriCorps, the agency itself, but also that platform provides us to deliver ServiceNow capabilities to the broader treasury organizations. So we have been delivering on that contract for about 8 months now, and we have gradually started building a practice around that capability.
Yeah.
And that means we are adding people not just for delivering the project, but also to grow similar types of work in future, right? So
Yeah.
this is a good example of a high impact growth initiative. So for us, it's not just about the revenue that project brings, but it is also the value that we gain from doing that type of work. And
Yeah.
and and to me, that's high impact growth initiative. So we were able to break into a new capability area. We were
Yeah.
able to leverage our existing customer relationships, and they trusted us so much that they gave us this work, and we are now demonstrating that we are not only delivering it, we are also able to bring some best practices from the industry into that delivery.
And then you use that as the launching pad to make a
Exactly.
similar sort of advent in a
Exactly.
different, at a
Yeah.
different project or different customer, different
Yeah.
market.
So 1 year of delivering that, we will have a solid qual to do similar work for other agencies. So hopefully, at some point in future, we
Yeah.
will build enough team or skills around that particular delivery that we will be going on our own, replicating the success.
Yeah. And all of this can only happen. You mentioned this a little bit ago, the talent pool. You have to have reliable people surrounding you. You have to foster that kind of culture. You have to inspire the innovation and the performance. So, how do you do that within your organization? How are you leading the or fostering that culture of innovation and performance?
So that's, to me, that's the $1 million question. Everybody's
Yeah.
trying to solve that. So we are also trying our best. So employees on the ground working with the customer are the my first layer of business development team. They know the customer. They work with the customer on a daily basis. They know the challenges, needs of the customer. Now we have to empower that team on the ground with the right tools and skills to take it to the next level. We need to empower them to have those discussions with the customer. Yeah, we will fail. Sometimes we'll succeed. Well, let's celebrate the success. Sometimes we'll fail. Let's learn from the failures. But when we empower that team, we will have tremendous success from that. And
Yeah.
second thing is looking at I talked about being passionate about the customer's mission,
Yeah.
and maybe this is something that I am having in my mind, but sharing that with the team on the ground, having that communication with them, to say that this is not a an engagement that we will go deliver with 10 people, we are done, and we come back home. It's not
Mhm.
that. Let's
Mhm.
look at what are the other areas we can help the customer. So
Mhm.
growth is not about the business we are getting, but the growth to me is about how many use cases are we solving for the customer? What's our like where we when we start, are we trusted? Are we just
Yeah.
doing the peripheral work, or are we doing the core mission work? To me, that's success. If we are so, let's say we started with a help desk contract, and we
Yeah.
without any revenue change, in a year we are able to get into the inner circle doing the core mission work. To me, that's growth. So I
Yeah.
think if we can communicate that thought to our employees on the ground, I think
Yeah.
we have not only inspired them, but we are also having an army of this BD team on the ground for us.
Yeah. and retaining that talent, and not just attracting it, but the ability to retain that sort of talent. That also is uh, the organization's culture and the fiber and how well you satisfy your employees' needs. I think all of that sets the tone for growth as well.
Exactly. And one other thing in that um, domain, it's not just about the employee. Yeah, we will compensate them, we'll get them the best insurance package. All that is good, but I think we should also invest in our brand, the employer brand. So we recently changed our name to FedTech. We did some acquisitions. We changed our name, and you'll see, some of the marketing activities we're doing on the um, to launch a new capability or giving our perspective on different technologies. So all of this is around uh, promoting the brand, and
Yeah.
when the employee is working, they are not only looking at these things as what's my compensation, benefits, all that, but they are also wanting to work for that brand, right?
Yeah.
So we recognize that, and we are investing in that as well, in addition to everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the brand is what sticks not just in the mind of your customer, but it also sticks in the mind of your employees or the talent pool that you bring on. And that brand is what they carry forward, right? So uh,
Yep.
I know way back when we were first coming to this country, I remember somebody saying to me, you are the ambassador. So the brand ambassadors are going to be your first line of support, which is the customer facing
Yep.
talent pool that you talked about. So that's amazing. So with regards to the customer then, what does customer centricity, is it just, it's a buzzword for sure. Everybody speaks of it, but what does it specifically mean to you? What is customer centricity?
So customer centricity may be a buzzword outside, but in consulting business, I think the
That's,
definition is the business.
it is the business,
Customer
yes.
customer is at the center of our growth strategy. And as
Yeah.
I said, we cannot build a business, grow our business if they don't trust us.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
cannot go deliver technology if we don't know what their challenges are.
Mm-hmm.
To me, customer centricity is laying out this growth strategy with customer in mind. So to me,
Yeah.
that is what we are selling, delivering to the customer, and that's what will prioritize different activities throughout the year for our
Yeah.
strategy.
And then leveraging the partnerships. So to make that sort of penetration in a certain market, you may need to leverage certain partnerships with um, other service delivery organizations.
Yes.
Um, Leveraging partnerships versus competing with them, how does that drive your customer retention and growth policies?
Yeah. So this is a very interesting topic.
Mhm.
We have vendors we compete with in the same market,
Mhm.
and there are opportunities where we are competitors, and there are opportunities where we team with each other to deliver something.
Yeah,
So I would, as part of our growth strategy, we
yeah,
picked certain vendors, large and small. And as you know, in the federal government contracting, we need to have these relationships established so that we are going after these different types of work, be it different socioeconomic categories or in the full and open space. So we have to team with different vendors, okay, large and small. But
yeah,
we cannot pick just any vendors. We have to have that same passion around the customer. We have to identify what that other teaming partner is bringing to the table and augmenting our capabilities.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from that perspective, then you will see that they are no longer a competitor. They are like a teaming partner, who are coming together to form to form a strong value proposition, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So um, once you have that laid out in your strategy, once you have those organizations picked, once you have once you did your self-assessment on what are your gaps that you need to fill from these different other places, I think your question on whether they are a competition or not is moot point after that. So
Yeah.
in many of our bids, we know who we will reach out to when we need when we have gaps, or better so, when we know that certain opportunity is coming 6 months, 8 months down the line, we are already reaching out to the partners and saying that this is one area. It's not just that we are strong, maybe bringing a different vendor and using their capability may make us stronger and increase our pivot. So
Yeah.
we look at teams in that fashion. So to
So
answer
you
your question, my perspective on leveraging partnerships is it's fundamental to our business, and I look
yeah.
at that as a augmenting our capabilities to going to the market.
And then the competition becomes a moot point, like you said. It's totally critical to the growth initiative that you are setting for
Exactly.
yourself. So here's a question from our audience. So given the current market conditions, how are you navigating given budget constraints within the organization? So how that's it. I won't try to uh, qualify that question. Why don't you just give us your
So
thoughts on that?
yeah, so market conditions and preparing for these conditions,
Mhm,
it's part of the business, right?
mhm,
Like
mhm,
if you look back last 10, 15 years, there were at least 3 or 4 different events that are happening.
mhm,
Maybe there is a war happening, and there is a big defense spend, and the businesses who just focus on civil customers maybe are suffering, or vice
mhm.
versa. And so to me, what's happening in the environment is just part of the business, right?
Yeah,
So how do we become resilient to
to the
these
change.
type of events is what in my role preparation is about. So we
Yeah,
run through scenarios. We as partners in my company, I'm fortunate enough to have these type of discussions. So we are very realistic. We list out these different things that can happen to the business. We look at different scenarios. We look at how to react to those scenarios. So we at FedTech, we have a good portfolio of defense and civil work. About 60% of
mhm,
our portfolio is civil, and 40%
mhm.
is defense. And some
Yeah,
of this is intentional. We
yeah,
are, apportioning our dollars in such a way that we are focusing on both business again to create a portfolio, so that the environment factors, like what's happening in the environment now,
yeah,
um, we are growing in one part of the business and maybe getting hit in the second part, but that's all about the business, right? So to
yeah,
answer your question, what we do, I think we have to prepare. If you're not,
yeah.
then we have to, because this is not going to be the last event,
That
like
occurs.
there are many more to come. So we have
Yeah.
to prepare as a business, and that should be part of our growth strategy.
and then the impact of that, uh, the challenges that it poses, right? The resilience is one thing, but repetitive events of that nature are how, as a small organization, are you able to pivot yourself to these, to react to these events?
Yes, we have to be agile. Our model has to be
Yeah,
agile. All our partners at FedTech, we all come from big consulting backgrounds.
yeah,
Um, we are able to, I'm not just a CGO. I'm able to wear a hat of a program manager, dive deep
yeah,
and deliver something for the customer. I'm able to, go build some technology solution.
yeah,
Likewise, my partners are also able to jump in and play different roles of CMO, CEO, COO, and so on. So I think once the leadership team is like that, and if we are pushing that culture down to the team, yes, I think uh, we will be able to. We are a small organization, and that's one way it is a good thing because we are able to pivot quickly. We don't have, we have a whiteboard session, we decide what to do, we play out a scenario,
yeah,
and within a week, we are able to bring changes in the organization. We are not like a large organization which takes time to push changes, and especially when they are reacting to market events. So it will be very
yeah.
difficult to bring the organization together. It's easier in the smaller organizations, and most importantly, if we are playing out these scenarios, it's much easier.
Very true, especially that comparison between smaller organizations and larger organizations. The ability to change and react and move faster, being agile, um, that's the key, I think, for any organization in today's world. Um, let's talk a little bit about innovation. Innovation is at the heart. You are passionate about innovation. We talked today a lot about AI ad nauseum. Uh, of course, it is the center of everything that we do. But you, back in the 90s, your educational background was in artificial intelligence, not something that everybody else had. Uh, perhaps it was by design, perhaps it was not, but definitely something at the center of what you do today. So tell us about FedTech Labs. How crucial was it to build FedTech Labs, and how has it supported your strategy for growth?
Thank you. Yeah. So FedTech Labs, it's it's a it's not a it's not infrastructure. It's not a cool office building. It's not about the tools we provide in the labs.
Mm-hmm.
FedTech Labs to me is a collaboration space, if you will, right? The goal for the lab is not to build products like Apple, and we are not inventing things. We are not finding that next disruptive technology. No, none of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We do simple things where the goal is for three of these stakeholders in our growth strategy to come together. Okay, one,
mm-hmm.
our customers. There are challenges. Sometimes customers themselves participate in the labs.
Yeah,
Sometimes we have a lot of ex government executives in FedTech, so they come and brainstorm and provide us different use cases, challenges in the government. Sometimes we
yeah,
just know delivering at the customer, the teams provide these use cases. We just prioritize those and say, this is a challenge we want to solve, right?
yeah,
And then we have a great employee base. They're all technologists. They all come together
yeah,
over a weekend or a evening. We put the challenge on the board and we brainstorm and look at solutions how to address that. And three, we work with different product vendors to build these
Yeah.
relationships. Sometimes they have the solutions, sometimes we work with them to build the solutions, and most of the times it is to string these different technologies together to build a solution. So when we do all this becomes a collaboration space between my customers, my employees, and these product vendors. And these are my three key focus areas of my growth strategy. So to answer your question, how FedTech's Lab helps with the business development side of it, which fuels the growth, is we are building this reputation with the customer that we are thinking about their challenges, we are
Yeah.
solving their challenges, and at the end of the day we are, if nothing else happens, we are building relationship with the customer. So to me,
Yeah.
it's a win if you look at it in any aspect. Maybe we don't win a single dollar,
Yeah.
but still we win customer from a customer relationship, and also from the understanding of the customer. So
So that
at
impact to the
yeah.
relationship is truly undeniable when you are investing in the innovation.
Yep. And we tried, I talked about ServiceNow. I talked about Pega. We tried several of these capabilities through our FedTech labs, and we
Yeah.
saw tremendous success with that. And we will keep, again, the focus was not to go win business and make this big revenue or anything. The focus was always, there's something that the customer is having a challenge in, and we are
Yeah.
just coming together to solve it. Makes sense?
Makes perfect sense. And then, like you said, you are the business, the people are the business, the service is the business, and it's not a product that you are developing. Your entire objective is to solve customer problems or customers business goals. And so in that regard, investing in the innovation uh, is probably crucial for you to develop those relationships. But innovation also takes time. It takes time. It's resource intensive. It's cost intensive. So in that regard, how do you balance innovation with performance? At the end of the day, you've still got to stay afloat, right, as a business?
Mhm. Yep. So again, this innovation lab is not our primary mode of BD, right? It's just a
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of it. Okay.
yeah,
And the things that we focus on are customer challenges. Sometimes it is so small and so impactful that, so
yeah,
simple things like, instead of PowerPoint reports,
yeah,
let's do automate those reports with Jira or some other tool, and how they can have the same information at their fingertips without days and days of building decks and such.
yeah,
When you implement something like that, it's innovation. It is it's small but very impactful, and those
yeah,
are the type of things that we want to focus on, and
yeah,
we pick things that we want to solve, as opposed to there are some long term things in there, like ServiceNow and all. They are strategic investments made to build that capability, but we
mm-hmm,
focus, these are the most common things we do in our lab. So to your point,
mm-hmm,
how do we balance? uh, I want to say that I want to spend most of my time and energy on this, unless we have
mm-hmm,
a big strategic reason why,
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm,
a
mm-hmm.
service now investment to do something longer term.
Okay. Wonderful. So a quick time check. We are coming up on our 40-minute mark. So I wanted to ask, I have a question. So with given all of your experience, all of these things that you are uh, proceeding down the on, what what is the biggest misconception? Everybody knows what growth strategies are meant to do. What is the misconception that we have about growth and growth strategy?
In my role, with my experience, when I come in, there is
Yeah.
a set expectation that the numbers will go up this way. And it's not. It's, you know, there is a strategy. It all depends on, we have a book of business, we have a set number of capabilities, and we have to keep investing in our capabilities. We have to make sure that the business we have, we are doing excellent delivery. We cannot screw up on the delivery and say that I'm going to win more business. So everything is tied together. So
Yeah.
I have to make sure to now win new business, I need to make sure that I'm doing excellent delivery across the board. If that is messed up, then I have to, somebody has to put focus on that. Or I have to slow down on the growth so that catches up. Likewise, if my capabilities are not set straight,
Yeah.
if they are not, up to, if I am not having technology capabilities to deliver, or if I'm not building them, then
Yeah.
I have a different problem. So I don't have anything
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
So to me, the biggest misconception is if we set up a growth organization, they will go chase work and bring. No, that's a big misconception. I think in order to win work, all of us have to work together, and it takes time. We have to look at different parts of the business to make sure that we are performing on all areas. We are excellent delivery. We have maybe we have a small set of capabilities, but strong
Do
capabilities,
it well.
and
Yeah.
then we will go after our business, and growth will follow.
So the growth, so you don't chase the growth, you chase doing the work well. You do the work well, you focus on the basics, you wear multiple hats, and the growth will follow. So the
Yeah,
misconception that you are building something for growth and it's just going to happen, I think it
yeah,
does, nothing
it's not a
happens.
standalone thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have hit the nail on the head with every like I almost preach, it's preaching to the choir with not working in silos. Everybody has to pitch in. It's not one department, it's not just a customer facing department. It's not, everybody has to work together to make something happen. That's amazing. um, what is a learning, what is key learning, or what is a takeaway that you can share with us, something that was a big impact, uh, challenge, or some learning point for us, for you, for us, to
yeah.
share with
So
us.
yeah, sure. So over the period of time in my career, um, early in my career, I was doing great work. I was doing very impactful work. I was delivering solutions, developing big Java applications, but I didn't connect with the customer of what this application did for the customer. How What was the end impact on the customer, right? So from there to looking back here, I think I would have made a bigger impact if I understood the mission. So to your question, my biggest learning is when I understand the mission of the customer, and when I become passionate about the mission, my efforts to win business are totally different.
Yeah.
And when we connect with the mission, I think things become very easy to
Yeah.
find ways to get to the customer, to market to the customer, to deliver in that customer space. So my biggest takeaway would be that, you talked about customer centricity. It's just
Yeah.
this, making the connecting with the customer's mission, understanding why we are doing what we are doing, and
Yeah.
before marketing to the customer, understand their mission,
Yeah.
and that way it will be easy to cater to that customer base.
Very nice. One more question from our audience. Is
Yes,
there a certain scale that a company needs to reach before implementing a growth strategy?
that's a good question, but I don't think when you're zero, you're struggling to get any business. You can. Mostly when we started, um, we were doing subcontracting work. It was okay to do subcontracting work through our network and all.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward, we don't do 99% of our work is prime contracts. We don't do subcontracting work because we want to shift our focus to adding value than revenue. So we are not chasing revenue anymore. But at some point in time, it was needed. To me,
Yeah.
that is also a strategy. So to your question, do you need a growth strategy? Yes, you need a growth strategy, but
Yeah.
it will be different when your size of the business changes.
Yeah, so it's not one strategy, but different strategies that come into play given the size or scale of the organization as it progresses.
Yes.
Amazing. Ram, you've shared so many little nuggets. So I don't know if it's not one success takeaway or one takeaway. It's like so many nuggets of wisdom along the way. So thank you for that. I'm going to have a
Thank you.
fantastic time recapping our conversation. Um, very quickly, what are you most excited about for 2025? So much, uh, little uncertainty, little volatility, but all of that notwithstanding, business has to proceed as usual. It's business as usual. So, what are you most excited about in 2025?
So there are big changes happening in our environment.
Mm-hmm.
The government is getting, you know, the role of the government is not changing, but
Mm-hmm.
the people who are going to perform or deliver those services are shrinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is that's one aspect, and then there is this big shift in AI, how you apply AI. Earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it used to be very narrowly defined applications doing something. Now
Yeah.
it is more sophisticated, agent-based systems,
Yeah.
which are able to make their own decisions. So there is a big shift coming, and I think matching these two things up will be big and exciting work ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I would say applying this, sophisticated agent-based systems which are able to make decisions and able to collaborate with people,
Mm-hmm.
how to apply this in our government will be a big opportunity for us, and
Yeah.
also a big opportunity for the government to take advantage.
Yeah. So definitely something, I mean, the federal side of things, federal is a huge employer of technology, right? And a huge consumer of technology. So I think there's the scope of work is limitless, but also, I guess, change, the events that you talked about, everything comes into play. So um, waiting to see how all of that plays out and pans out. And Ram, any last words of wisdom for us before we wrap up?
No, so I saw, I heard at least few questions on the changing environment, and
Yeah,
I sense some concern on that,
yeah,
what it does to the business. To me, if you are a business worried about that, then we need to lay out some resiliency activities so that you understand the different impacts and play out different scenarios. So you're not caught off guard by some of these events. And if you are an employee in the job market or in a company working and you're worried about that, then look at your skills, again, resiliency at a different level, look at your skills, look at what technologies will play in this environment, especially this low code, no code technologies and such. So just getting prepared for this uncertainties, these things will keep happening. So just preparing ourselves for these uncertainties is the best thing to do now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ram. It has been a pleasure. I enjoy our conversations on camera, off camera, anytime. So looking forward to continuing those. Please come back. Come back anytime. We would love to have you for
Great
back for a
talking to you too,
conversation.
Vijita.
Yeah. Thank you again to our audience. You have been phenomenal. Thank you for all your support. And my sincere thanks to the Thinkly team. They do a fantastic job supporting us up to the event and even after the event. So looking forward to more collaborations with the audience, with the guest, and then with Thinkly as well. Ram, thank you. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you all.
Yeah, bye.